An environmental rights group, Health of Mother Aid Foundation, has called on the government of African states to seek environmental justice for decades of mineral exploitation in the hands of colonial powers. The director of the foundation, Nnimmo Bassey, made the call during the 10th anniversary conference held in Abuja with the theme Advancing Environmental Justice in Africa. Participants at the event, who decried the large scale of environmental pollution in many parts of the country, especially the Niger Delta region, by multinationals like Shell and Agip Oil, say there is an urgent need to take actions to protect the environment better.
It was a big mistake for Nigeria to abandon the economic pathway it was pursuing to now delve into the petroleum business and forget about everything else. That is what has destroyed Nigeria. So because the foundation was wrong, the superstructure is inevitably going to be wrong. We don't have correct data about what is going on. Nigeria doesn't know how much oil is extracted on a daily basis. We don't know how much oil is exported on a daily basis. Neither do we, if we don't know how much oil is extracted and how much is exported, you won't even know how much is lost. This is the crisis that we have. I believe the government has to wake up to do what needs to be done. The local people have been blamed. They are the victims, but the blame always goes to the local people. And this point must be made. There is no one, as one of the speakers said, you can't just wake up and have access to a pipeline or break away a pipeline. Or the place is heavily militarized, so you can't even carry the crude oil without being noticed. But a whole ship can escape Nigerian waters without being arrested. Oil theft is an industrial business. It's not a peasant business. It's not a fisherman's business. And so this, unless that is addressed, we're going to miss it. And the biggest problem now is the divestment. It's a move by international oil companies to leave the Niger Delta and take their profits, either move offshore or go back home. We need to have a clear regulation, a clear policy and guideline about what divestment means and how it can be done. Nigerian companies cannot just buy somebody's liability without the capacity or readiness to rectify the harm that has been done. So if Shell wants to go, Exxon wants to go, Chevron wants to go, they should be asked to clear up their mess or make sufficient payment. The Bayelsa State government, in the report they issued, has said they need $12 billion to clean up Bayelsa State. That to me may just be the beginning. Bayelsa is the most polluted region in the whole world.
Because the world is getting confused. What has happened in the last 70 years is the oil industry has been peddling a particular narrative, deceiving the whole world, thinking that victims of oil thievery are the thieves. They are not. There is no menacing oil thief, okay, that is actually an oil thief. The menacing oil thieves, the ones they call oil thieves, are victims of thievery. If you don't have education, if you don't have a home to stay, if you don't have school to attend, you don't have a job, then what do? You go and try to get some crude oil and you're painted all over. You can be a thief. You're a victim. Most of these people they call oil thieves, they're just born 30 years ago, 35 years ago. They were born before Nigeria was born. Nigeria was born over 60 years ago, right? And then oil exploitation is about 70 years old. So the real oil thieves do not stay in mosquito-infested homes. They do not stay in flood-prone places. They don't stay in the swamplands. The oil thieves are residents of high-brow areas in Abuja and Lagos and London and New York City and all the major places in the world. Do you know what they have? They have yachts. They have private jets, they have golf courses, they have refineries of their own across the world. So the world should not be deceived. An oil thief cannot be a dirty man. An oil thief has a clean skin, nice haircut, nice car, nice wives.
If you have to do justice to the environment, you have to make sure there are concrete policy issues that must be addressed. And when these policy issues are initiated, then you have to put the necessary infrastructure in place to be able to put these policies into practice. In the absence of the infrastructure that will make you enforce the policies initiated, you are not going to go anywhere. And that means the injustices meted to the environment will continue unabated.
Gas flaring is a critical issue that has not been addressed by any governments, and the entire pollution. There is a recent release of pollution in Bayelsa State. I don't think that report should not be kept under the shelf, but the government needs to look at them and what needs to do. A very, very urgent one is the issue of plastic pollution in Nigeria, where the global governments are gathering together to say, look, we need to have a treaty. What's Nigeria saying about that? What's Nigeria saying about single-use plastics? Countries around Africa are banning single-use plastic, which we call poly bags or nylon bag here in Nigeria. And they are now using, much more environmentally resilient materials. And the Nigerian government seems not to be saying anything about that.